Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft 2, A Legacy of the Void. Today, it's going to be an Archon mode match that was submitted to me through my Discord server. It's going to be a Clem and a teammate of his versus an EU GM player and a partner of theirs as well. So here we are on Glittering Ashes. Top right, we have our Protoss team. It's going to be a Timo and ABT. And in the bottom left, we have a Blue Terran. It's going to be Clem and Ugly. So, I haven't cast an Archon mode for a few years now because I just kind of feel like it's basically a normal game. So let's see if this is going to be anything different. And again, this is a European GM player. At least one of these players is EU GM. So it should give Clem a fight. But we will have to wait and see. Imbo race, says Timo. What are you imboing? I mean, jokes, obviously. I want to say that's jokes there. But Gateway expand on the low ground here from ABT, interestingly enough. High ground walling off a little bit here is Clem. Not scouting himself. Oh, man, it's going to be hard for me not to just call this Clem, isn't it? So Team Terran with Clem representing. That's the reason we clicked on this. Clem is not allowed to touch the keyboard, says ABT. Yeehaw, says Ugly. So if you haven't seen an Archon mode game yet, both players have complete control over everything. So they can select a unit, do stuff with it. They can be in control. I mean, they can do anything. You can play this Archon mode where Clem just does literally all the things of the game and the other person sits back and hangs out. I don't even know. I guess combined APM is what we're looking at here, but whatever. APM's a dumb metric for Archon anyway. Yeah, I kind of feel like it might be a little bit better if one person is in charge of macro and one person is in charge of kind of like micro and battles and stuff. You don't have to go back home, like, or even hotkey back home to make another round of units in the midst of a battle, you know? You can just kind of focus on the macro entirely. But we'll see. We'll see what we get here. Like I said, I've cast a bunch of Archon mode games when they first came out years ago, and I watched them and there was nothing like, wow, this is the best example of micro I've ever seen, or I can't believe the macro this team is pulling off because one person is focusing on macro or whatever, you know? It's like it feels like you kind of have the same thing going. Anyway, there's an Adept on the way here for Team Protoss because, I mean, Reapers are fairly common here in PvT, but we don't have one today. So it's going to be a little Marine Marauder play. Are we moving out with you boys? Is that what we're doing? Oh, we're just here to defend against the incoming Adept. Oh, the Adept. Oh, and there's Marauder slow. Oh, that hurts. Oh, that hurts so much. Oh, doesn't even get the Marine. Are we surprised by this? No, we're not. Oh, what an absolutely disgusting opening here. Concussive Shell Marauder opening to catch the Adept and kill it. And early on, that's such a major advantage. Because now there's no vision out on the map for Team Protoss whatsoever. They're cowering inside their base in fear. Making a shield battery because they know there's a Marauder coming across the map. One of them at least, maybe two. Oh, yeah. Two Marauders, two Heavies here with a Marine behind them because if the Marine gets hit once again, it's going to die. A Void Ray is coming out too to try to defend against this. Are we chrono boosting that sucker? Yeah, we're chrono boosting that Void Ray. But this is the current patch, so Void Rays build a little bit slower than they used to. The Marine gets sniped. Now the Adept with the shield battery can kind of hold their own here. They don't do bonus damage versus Marauders or anything, but damage is still damage. It's like math is math from Mr. Incredible, Incredibles 2. Damage is damage. But yeah, once the Void Ray shows up, that's going to be it. So a nice little, okay, preparation there for Team Protoss of the aggressiveness of those Marauders with a concussive shell. Shield battery, still an incredibly good unit. Forward shield batteries do come up with only half the energy that regular shield batteries do, which is full energy. So a defensive shield battery still has the advantage. Nothing's been nerfed there. On the other side, let's see. Widow Mines, when they have Drilling Claws, they burrow a little bit more slowly than they did with the Drilling Claws upgrade. So, we'll see if that moves the needle or not. Third base here from the Protoss. I like it. I like getting a third base. And he's like, how many Marines do you have? Oh, it's enough Marines to handle a single Void Ray. That's for sure. Oh, yeah, just no. No. Marine count is heavy. They were maybe hoping that the Terran team here would go for a lot of Marauders and then the Void Ray would kill them all, but nope. This is Clem we're talking about. He's not that dumb. Void Rays in this patch? You crazy, says Ugly. They're still as fast. They still have good acceleration and top speed, and they're still hard to chase down and pick off. Hello, I saw Marauders, okay? So obviously... Oh, the tech lab goes down! Oh, but the Void Ray dies too. That was Combat Shield getting researched, and now it's not happening. So yeah, we've got Stim, and we've got Concussive Shell, but Combat Shield is toast. Ooh, I like this. Little sky tossing it here. We saw Classic do this in GSL last week. It was kind of incredible. He went for Carrier. Like, one of the games he went Carrier Colossus. He was making Void Rays and Carriers and, I mean, Oracles, obviously. That's not too weird. But Phoenix, too. Like, Phoenix are picking off drops all over the place for Classic. It was kind of amazing. It was him against Dream, I want to say, in the GSL. But really fun stuff. If you want to find those VODs, they're available on YouTube on the ESL channel. So we don't have any medevacs here. This is an interesting timing. It's a sub 6 minute attack with a bunch of, I mean, already stimmed up Marines and Marauders, but like, the Phoenix are lifting and killing Marines. They're doing all right. Shield battery overcharge is fine. That was a weird attack from Team Clem there. Like, you're going to show up without any medevac support at all and no combat shield either. I don't think that was a good trade whatsoever. So if we're looking at the resources lost, it's 900 to 1200. Terran has lost more. Clem has lost more resources here. Maybe we'll blame Ugly for that attack. Clem's just back home macroing. He's like listening to music, whistling to himself. La, 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 la. I'm making a lot of stuff. I'm expanding, getting a ton of SCVs, and you do this other stuff. Ugly, you do the battles, and I'll just be back here having fun. Yeah, Phoenix picking off an SCV there. He's like, hey, Clem says. Why didn't you have an army in position to protect my third base? And then fights begin. Sommerkun and I used to do... We used to Archon ladder, because there's an Archon ladder. I mean, it was bad a couple of years ago. I can't imagine there's any more people doing it now, but... Well, Widow Mines are out. But yeah, I mean, it's just... It creates some annoyance for sure, because if something bad happens, you have a tendency to not blame yourself, because, right, we're all selfish creatures at our hearts. But what we want to do is blame our teammate. And so in an Archon mode match... It's easier to do. Yeah, unload them Widow Mines. That medevac is dead. And, oh, lifts and kills both of the Widow Mines. Are we sure this is Clem? I'm going to tell you, this is Clem. It showed on the loading screen. Liquid Clem's name. And the APM pretty high. Again, it's combined APM, though. Either way, I don't know. Are we convinced? Are we convinced this is Clem? If this was a 1v1 game, I would not be convinced this is Clem. But the fact that it's an Archon mode just kind of brings a level of weirdness into it. So yeah, Fleet Beacon on the way. We're going to see those carriers. I don't know if carriers are the new meta for PvT or what. Nice snipe on the SCV building the missile turret. See, this is the kind of stuff a lower level player can do when they're in an Archon game, right? Like, the pros do this all the time. They're sharking around with things like Phoenix. They're sharking around with Mutalisks and stuff, and they're macroing their faces off back home. But a lower level Diamond, Platinum level player is going to have a hard time with that, right? So in Archon mode, it gives you the freedom to just do this. I mean, picking up a Marauder and killing it. Big drop coming into the main base, though. And yeah, unloading enough. That Phoenix needs to get out of there. First carrier in production. There's a Colossus out with extended thermal lance as well. And depowering the Stargate. Takes it down. Depowers, ooh, the shield battery too. Trying to kill that Colossus, but, oh, they get it. They get the Colossus, but two more join the party. And the Marauders are trying to do huge amounts of damage to the Immortals especially, but they just get burned apart by the fire lasers there. On the other side, there's probes running from the third base under attack. Simultaneous attacks coming in here. So that feels a little bit more Clem-like that we're getting that. Here's a 4-basing Protoss to a 3-basing Terran. Mules are good. So having a worker advantage as a Terran plus your mules is pretty amazing. So this supposed Clem player and his teammate Ugly are doing really well economically. I can tell you that much. Ghost Academy coming in because you do need some ghosts. It's a GM level Terran player, or rather Clem is playing this, who's beyond the GM level. He is ranked among the elite Terran players on the earth right now. So yeah, definitely going to get some ghosts against these carriers, which it's just weird, right? How often do we see carriers versus Terran? It's just because Marines are incredibly good against carriers. They murder interceptors in a snap. They murder carrier bodies in a snap if they can get there. There's Vikings available. Vikings just absolutely were designed to kill things like carriers. I don't know. I just don't know how I feel about this whole thing. I guess it can work, especially if you have Colossus to deal with the Marines. That's the idea behind this, right? Is that to go Colossus to deal with the Marines, and when the Marines are gone, then the carriers can have a pretty good time. Mothership on the way too. Why not? Why not make a mothership? You're making carriers, right? You're getting shield upgrades, +2 air weapons here too. Clem is sitting on, working on +2/+2 for his Marines and his Marauders, doing very traditional Terran-y things. Not going to bother with Liberators, because again, the carriers kind of counter those pretty effectively. So, no Liberators, but 6 Vikings are out, 33 Marines, 12 Marauders, some Ghosts are up, some Widowmines. Widowmines also very good against Interceptors, as we've seen in the past when Protoss tried to go carriers versus a Terran player. So very odd match. Disruptors coming in here too, recognizing we need a little bit more splash damage. Need a bit more splash damage here. So lifted Viking getting killed by Phoenix. How often do you ever see that? The answer is not often at all. What a weird thing. So kill the Viking. There you go. And just get out of there. We're good. Single Marine trying to deny a 5th base. Lasered to death by the War of the Worlds walkers. Fusion Core coming in. Oh, we are making Liberators. How dare you tell me how to play the game, Clem says. Falcon, I can make whatever I want and win, and that's true. You probably can. Enhanced Shockwave is coming in here too, working on air weapons. The Fleet Beacon's probably not for battle cruisers. It's traditionally going to be for advanced ballistics. So here we go. Interceptor count, 18. Not ideal. Disruptor sending some things out there, but not really connecting at all. It's kind of more of a zoning play, pushing the Terran army back than really trying to get a big hit off in this situation. So how nervous would you be if you randomed into Clem on ladder? I'd be pretty nervous. I'd be dead by now, but also pretty nervous. Yeah, look at these interceptors. Every time a big fill soup of interceptors shows up, they just get obliterated to absolute pieces here. Chasing down, chasing down. Disruptor comes in, gotta back it out. Killing disruptors is pretty good stuff too. EMPs it so it dies faster. And oh my gosh, another carrier's gonna die. There's so many Viking. Bruh. Dude, EMP gets tossed down on everything. Again, splitting. Yeah, this is some pretty high-level Terran stuff. I gotta say, at this stage it is. The splits against these Disruptor Novas have been sick. Okay, that was another insane one. I think a Marauder died there, but army value is 113 to 92 in favor of the Terran. Kind of standing and fighting right now. Interceptor count is 4. This is what I'm talking about. Oh, the mothership gets focused by the Marines, and the Vikings mothership dies. Disruptors keeping us alive for the time being here for Team Protoss. Expanding again during all this chaos as well. Liberators showing up, setting up in decent position to deny gas at this 4th base anyway. That's pretty good. 3rd base defended by all the carriers and only 30 interceptors in the world here. Okay, maybe sitting down to heal up a bit would be nice, but there are not that many. There's only 4 medevacs up, and these guys are empty. These 2 are running on empty. Where are the other medevacs, and how much energy do they have? They're over here. And there's another one. Okay, good. So that one can do some healing, if it's allowed to do some healing. Anywho, 193 to 175 supply. Team Clem is up. Forces cancel on this 5th base attempt. Because of course he does. This group heading off on an expedition up to the top left. Trying to see what they can do. +3 air weapons on the way. Another mothership coming in. We're double downing. Doubling down. Ooh, sniping those zealots is cool. Double downing. On the sky tossed off. More carriers. 10 carriers. 3 more on the way. We've only lost the 1 carrier so far. It's not like the carrier army got depleted. Finding individual pylons out. This base not happening. That's a cancel. Probe who tried to throw it up dies. Traditionally so. Disruptor. 2 Marines die. I mean, that's some free damage. Purification Novas are free. They're free as locusts are, right? Right. And standing in, another carrier goes down. Carriers need to back out of here. I don't know if you want to be... Okay, they're hanging in. Interceptors not getting obliterated as much as they were before. There's still 40 of them here. Army value is 119 to 110. There you go. Pulling back a little bit, so all you're dealing with is a handful of interceptors here. Liberator getting some nice shots off there too. Disruptor connecting on nothing once again. And again, the splits are just godlike. Like, as a Protoss, how do you feel when the splits are this godlike? Interceptor counts down to 13, and that's where you want to be. That's where you want to see the Protoss here. Expanding again is Clem. We've got some Zealots that were, running into this third base, but there's a Widow Mine here and a Disruptor set up. Or a Liberator set up, rather, to deny these style of attacks. Advanced Ballistics helps with that. 3-3 is going to make this even harder for Team Protoss to win this game. Yeah, interceptor count is 51. So the good news is interceptors build quickly. The bad news is the interceptors are not free. So another huge fresh group of Marines. That +3 attack just finished. So I really feel like interceptors are going to die even more quickly now because of course they are. Trying to focus down. Nice Nova hit. Trying to focus down this planetary. They do end up getting it. That's a big hit for sure. SCV is trying to make it out of the war zone here. And then also trying to focus down this replacement orbital, but so many interceptors going down. There are only 20 remaining. 30 interceptors have died during this battle, and now the chase down, but the disruptors are being used to cover the retreat. Oh, Adepts down here at the third base, not inside the circle. The circle was covering quite nicely until the Liberators. The Liberator circle was not covering the Adept range. They were planning on Zealots here. Liberators setting up to try to kind of keep disruptors out of the zone. No, the disruptor gets destroyed before it can connect. Dude, that's sick. That is so sick from Clem. He knows. He's like, okay, I don't have to split if I kill the disruptor before it connects. Oh my gosh, that's disgusting stuff here. Liberators using their anti-air attack, which is not something you see a lot, but splash damage is splash damage. That's a big Nova connection. That is a big Nova connection here. So resources lost are 24,000 for the Protoss and 20,000 for Team Clem right now. All right, fair enough. They're doing some pretty cost-efficient shenanigans. More Adepts in the third base. They don't even have Resonating Glaives. I feel like they probably should. If they're going to be used this much on the harassment scale, is just pop it. But nobody has any money right now. Neither Team Protoss nor Team Terran have any cash right now whatsoever. So I don't know. Maybe these are some of the sickest splits against Disruptor attacks I've ever seen. So maybe, I don't know, maybe there is an advantage to Archon mode these days. Maybe in the early days there wasn't as much, but now people have figured it out. And hey, if Clem's playing Archon mode, it's pretty good. There's still 60 interceptors here, but they're not being sent out to fight. I mean, part of that is because these are +3/+3 Marines. They're little balls of death. Okay, that was a decent connection, but probes are just transferring through the defender mode circle there, getting murderized all over the place. Trying to bring the interceptors in now to win this thing, but the splash damage is really good. Not good enough, though. 30 interceptors remain, and Team Terran is backing the heck on out of there. Small drop here at the fourth base of our Protoss, and they're going to snipe down an assimilator. That's pretty good. I mean, this still has 700 gas in it. I guess that's not that big of a difference, but Nova hit! Yeah! Yeah! Very fresh, says Ugly. Oh, he feels like he's got this thing won. He's feeling confident at the moment. Does he now? Liberators setting up. Tempest getting some nice long-range shots on those Liberators. Not something we see a lot of these days, is Tempest versus Liberators. But once again, just kind of standing in, killing interceptors. There's only 7 interceptors remaining, and there is not enough minerals to replace all of them at all. There's 100 minerals on the bank for both of these players. Another Nexus goes down. This 5th base continues to get denied. No 5th base at all today. Top left, 5th base attempted from Team Protoss. Can they hang on to that one? It's a little bit further away than this right side has been. That Clem has been attacking non-stop today. The splits are sick. 172 to 156 total supply. Interceptor count is 40. This Disruptor Colossus carrier thing is actually pretty darn effective. I don't think it's gonna win, but it's been pretty fantastic. I'm not gonna sit back and complain about it to you at all. No sir, no how. Bottom right base is already up for Clem and Ugly. Top left, Liberator denying mining at this newest 5th base. Ugh. StarCraft very often comes down to economic concerns. And okay, all right, couple you can't split against Colossus attacks. Those just hit you, man. You can try to split against it, but it's such a wide swath. Ooh, this SCV. Goodbye, sir. +3 air weapons coming in for like the all 4 liberators that exist. Trying to, just striking back. So chase down, backing up. Chased all the way down here. Rodriguez trying to buy time for his bases to get up here, but yeah, the abject chaos here is just crazy, though. We do not see this much carrier versus Terran. Maybe this is the new meta. I don't know what has compelled Protoss players to make these many carriers recently in this matchup. I would just chalk this up to EUGM shenanigans, but that's not what it is. Because again, Classic was doing this at GSL just last week. So, okay, the Marine count is... And bam! Clem taps out! Suddenly the Marine count is way too low. And, oh sure, there's only 9 available interceptors remaining, but guess how many Marines there are? 13! And not all of them are here, that's for sure. Some of them are trying to join the party one by one by one by one. I guess 4 are here, but wow. Dude, these carriers, though, I must see how many kills they have. 17 kills, 11 kills, 12 kills, more 11 kills, 16 kills. There's so many with 11, 17, 11, 11, 12, 12. I mean, this has been absolute incredible carrier play here from this EUGM team. Member of the Discord came in, dropped it in, said you probably want to cast this, and you know what? I gotta say, I think you're right. That is dead impressive. Wow. So they get a win against the micro here. Really feels like it was Clem. Here's the problem, though. Resources lost 38,000 to 33,000. That is how many Marines died today? 242 in 21 minutes. 28 Liberators. My gosh, that's so much dead Marine and Liberator. 632 Interceptors died, though. That's the winner. That is the winner of the most stuff that died in this game. And how many carriers went down? 8. So 8 carriers died. There were 10 of them at the end of the game. So good trades. Just overall good trades here. Sure, a lot of Nexuses died. Sure. The income wasn't super hot at this stage of the game, but when the Protoss player's on the other side of the map and you don't have anything to deal with the carriers, this base is going to die, this base is going to die, and suddenly it's a super, super uphill battle here for Clem and Ugly. So we saw that and decided just to back on out. It's 13 Marines and 3 Vikings versus 10 carriers and 9 Disruptors. The Disruptor plays were sick today. They were consistently being sent out, and yeah, Clem dodged and split against 90% of them, but the 10% that hit were pretty effective. And just, again, as a zoning maneuver, just to keep the Terran army from just stimming forward and killing you, because they have to worry about it. They have to worry about the Novas showing up and murdering all of everything. It's good. I mean, Disruptors have always been used that way. I guess maybe not the very, very beginning. Not at the very, very beginning, but yeah, it was pretty quickly figured out that even if Disruptor shots are not connecting, they're still forcing the Terran to move away from you. And that's a good feeling as Protoss, because when they're stimming forward and you can't stop them from doing that, it's very scary. So GG! Hearty congratulations to Team Protoss EU here. Mose, I believe, is the name he goes by in Discord, but apparently that's not the name we're dealing with here. We have an ABT and a Timo, which... the full player names we'll put in the title. How about that? But GG! Hey! You got a game you won against Clem cast on YouTube by someone with, I don't know, all of some subscribers. That's not bad. That's a good day, isn't it? I think it is. All right, so that's going to be it for me today. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void and an Archon mode game. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.